A man with a familiar name. A quiet city in Florida. Two women lost. And the world couldn't stop talking. This is the story of the Deadpool Killer. October 2019, Cape Coral, Florida. A city known for its calm streets and close-knit neighborhoods. But on one fateful day, a series of events would shock this community, and the entire nation would take notice. A man named Wade Stephen Wilson would commit crimes so shocking, his name would be carried across headlines worldwide. And yes, Wade Wilson shares a name with the famous Marvel anti-hero, Deadpool. The coincidence made the story instantly viral. But beyond the sensationalism lies a real tragedy, one that affected families, friends, and an entire city. This is not a story about comics or movies. This is a story about real people, real tragedy, real lives lost. Wade Wilson, the man behind the name. Wade Stephen Wilson was, by most accounts, an unremarkable man living in Florida. Born and raised in the state, he had a history of minor criminal offenses, including burglary and possession of firearms. But nothing in his record suggested he would become known nationally as the Deadpool Killer. Neighbors described him as quiet, reserved, almost invisible. Some said he kept mostly to himself, rarely speaking to anyone outside his immediate circle. Others recalled seeing him on occasional walks, a solitary figure blending into the background. Yet appearances can be deceiving. Behind the quiet exterior, Wilson's life was complicated. Friends and family later described him as distant, someone who rarely shared his thoughts or emotions. It was a life that seemed ordinary until October 7th, 2019. October 7th. Two women, Kristine Melton and Diane Ruiz, were killed in Cape Coral. Ordinary women, living ordinary lives, but in a single day, their lives were cut short, and a community was left in shock. Kristine Melton was remembered by friends as kind-hearted, always willing to help others. Diane Ruiz was known for her warmth, her laughter, and the love she showed to her family. After the murders, Wade Wilson did something unusual. He called his father. In that call, he confessed. That confession became the critical piece of evidence that would lead to his arrest later that day. The Cape Coral Police Department acted quickly. Officers secured the crime scenes, collected evidence, and interviewed witnesses. Within hours, Wade Wilson was taken into custody without incident. During interviews, Wilson admitted to the crimes. His demeanor was reportedly calm. Investigators later revealed he said he could commit such acts again, a chilling statement that left the community and authorities deeply unsettled. Confession cases like this are rare. They give law enforcement critical insight into what happened, but they also raise serious questions about the suspect's mental state and motives. In Wilson's case, the confession made the investigation more straightforward, but the emotional toll on the victims' families was enormous. Behind every sensational headline are real people. Kristine Melton and Diane Ruiz were more than names in the news. They were mothers, daughters, sisters, friends, people whose lives were full of promise and potential. Their families mourned. Vigils were held, flowers were placed, communities came together to grieve. The human cost of the tragedy became painfully clear. Everyone was talking about the name, about Deadpool, but we wanted people to remember Kristine and Diane. They were real people. Their lives mattered more than a nickname. And then came the media. Wade Wilson, Deadpool. The story went viral. Memes, social media posts, and online speculation spread quickly.
the focus on the name risked overshadowing the victims. Families expressed frustration, insisting attention be on the real tragedy, not on a pop culture connection. This case highlights an uncomfortable truth. Sensational stories often distract from the human cost. Online, the case divided the public. Some joked about the Deadpool connection. Others criticized the insensitivity. Experts stressed the importance of responsible reporting. Crime is real. Victims deserve dignity, not viral headlines. The Deadpool Killer case is a lesson in media ethics. Reporting should focus on facts and respect for victims, not just what attracts clicks. Months later, Wade Wilson faced trial. Charged with first-degree murder, he stood before a jury. The prosecution presented his confession, witness statements, and timelines. The defense attempted to explain his behavior, but the evidence was overwhelming. In June 2024, the jury returned a guilty verdict. Wilson was sentenced to death. For the families, some sense of justice was achieved, but no sentence could restore the lives of Kristine and Diane. The case sparked debate on media ethics. Headlines focused on a catchy name. Critics argued this trivialized the victims' stories. Responsible reporting is critical. The Deadpool Killer story shows how sensationalism can overshadow the truth and the human impact of crime. Journalists must balance public interest with sensitivity. Victims deserve dignity. Communities deserve respect. Cape Coral was forever changed. Families mourned. Neighbors grieved. Counselors helped residents cope with trauma. Vigils and memorials honored the victims. The tragedy reminded the community that support, empathy, and remembrance are essential in the aftermath of violence. The Deadpool Killer case remains a cautionary tale. Real lives matter more than catchy headlines. It teaches lessons in ethics, media responsibility, and public empathy. Families continue to grieve. Communities continue to heal. The nickname, the media frenzy, the memes, they will fade, but the lessons endure. Respect victims, report carefully, and remember that behind every crime are lives forever changed. October 7th, 2019, a day that changed lives forever. A story reminding us that true crime is never entertainment. Kristine Melton and Diane Ruiz will not be forgotten. Their stories, their lives, and their memories deserve to be honored. This is the story of the Deadpool Killer, not the comic character, but a real man, a real tragedy, and a lesson for us all.
If you want more chilling true crime stories, hit that subscribe button now and never miss a case that will keep you on the edge of your seat.